back. This is going to be part 3 of the Pengo. We are going to get all the bodywork fixed on this and get it in primer. Well, right now it's not snowing, but we got probably another 18 inches last night. Right now it's sunny, but they're calling for another 1 to 3 feet between tonight and Sunday. I've been literally out and awake since 4 o'clock this morning, but there's the view currently. We're just over 3 feet on the ground right now. They said potentially 4 to 5 feet total when the lake effect snow is finally over with. So we'll see what happens. So the first thing I'm going to do is let's unclamp this corner and see if the glue actually held well or not. I think it did, but I don't know. I haven't messed with it. Yep, we should be good there. Cool. That's awesome. I'm going to let that sit for a little bit. I think what I'm going to do first is work on getting this artwork off of this side. You know what? I take that back. Let's prep this and that for regular body filler. This is going to get a little bit of short strand fiberglass. And then we'll sand that down over there. We'll put regular body filler over it. So maybe first I'll sand this and put some short strand on there, let this cure, and then we'll just sand them both at the same time. And then periodically I'm going to be working on peeling the artwork off of here. Now, I'm trying to not use a heat gun because sometimes when you use a heat gun on the old artwork, it'll leave a sticky residue on the cabinet. If you can peel it off without using heat, usually the sticky residue goes with the sticker itself and it doesn't end up stuck to the cabinet itself. So this area right here I peeled off is perfectly smooth. And that actually gives me a good base for the color, because if you look here, look at the difference in the blue here versus this dirty here. So that piece that I saved over there that I took off the front of the cabinet, I'm actually going to run my buffer on it and see if we can't get it to look more like this color, so that when I go up to the paint store, which I was supposed to go to today, but everything's closed over here, including the freeways, I have to wait until probably Monday or Tuesday before I'm gonna be able to get paint. But that's fine because this needs to set and dry for a couple days anyways. So let's grind down this corner. You know, I'll just do that off camera. I'm gonna just grind that edge a little bit, and I'm gonna put some of the short strand fiberglass on it, and then I'll come back, and once that dries, we'll get that sanded down. All right, that only took me about 10-15 minutes. I almost punched myself in the mouth about 3 times when the vinyl broke and almost hit myself. But we got it off. There's really no residue left, a tiny little bit right here, but that'll sand right off. Now, this material looks like melamine to me, okay? Which you could still buy black and white melamine at Home Depot and Lowe's and stuff. Or not Home Depot and Lowe's, like Menards and stuff. And I'm sure you could probably order other colors. So what I think they did was, this was probably maybe a special order color, or maybe this is a color that they had back in the 80s when they made these cabinets, because this is definitely not paint. It's like a very, very thin, maybe it is some kind of a paint. I don't know, but it looks like melamine to me. And the other side's black, so if I were to guess, I'd say this is some sort of a melamine type finish. But anyways, this will sand up real nice. We have very little body work to do once this corner and that seam is done. So I'm gonna get the sander set up. We're going to sand down that seam and this corner up here, and then we're going to get a coat of regular body filler on it. And then I got to fill in these two little holes here. That's from two screws where I put for the straight edge for when I cut the cabinet. But let's get this sanded down now, and we're going to get this whole side body worked and finished. And then we'll put the T-molding groove back in there. Then we can roll it over and do the other side. Okay, now I'm going to mix up a little bit of the lightweight body filler by Summit Racing. If you look here on the cabinet, you can see that because I made that belly yesterday when I sanded, and I made this kind of like a disc shape, this is really smooth now. You can't tell the difference in height between the two. We only need to do a thin coat of body filler. I'm mainly worried about putting it over this because this is ripply because this is plywood. So we're gonna put a coat over the whole plywood, and then we're just gonna kind of smooth it into there. And then up here, we just need a tiny bit, just a tiny bit right here. We've got a little pinhole and maybe just a tiny bit on that edge, but that's ready then. And we gotta fill in these two holes too. So I'm gonna mix up some of this lightweight body filler from Summit Racing. I did that video the other day, Thanksgiving Day, on the products that I use for these cabinets and everything. So if anybody has not seen that video, go watch that video and you'll be able to see all the stuff that I use. I explain it all on the video at least, so that if I kind of fast forward through some of this stuff, you know that what I use, you can just go back to that video and reference it. Okay, now I'm gonna put this on real thin. I'm only looking to fill in the plywood, the roughness of the plywood, I guess you'd say. And we got a little dent right here, two dents, little dents. So now I gotta grab some leg levelers from the house. I don't know what kind I have right now, but right now on Amazon, I'm gonna put the link in the description of this video. The leg levelers that I buy from Amazon, they're on sale. I just ordered more last night. You get 8 leg levelers and 8 of those inserts for $17 on Amazon. And they're a real nice leg leveler, and they have like a nylon base on the bottom of it. So it's a lot easier on your floors depending on what type of floor you have. But I'll put the link in the description because I thought that was a great price. You can get a 4-pack for like $11, or you can get an 8-pack for $17. So clearly the $17 is better. So I ordered 2 $17 ones. So I have another 16 legs, which is 4 cabinets. So basically I got 4 leg levelers. I'm sorry, enough leg levelers for 4 cabinets, and it comes with the screws and everything. So basically I could do 4 cabinets for $30-some. I don't know if I have any of the Amazon ones left in the house. If not, I'll get the regular metal ones. But we got to put those on here as well before I stand the cabinet up, because we don't want to ruin anything else. Okay, we got a dent up here, 2 of them. Once again, make sure you wipe it in 2 different directions, your filler, so that so it fills in all the way. Once we sand this down, we are ready to put the T-molding groove on this side, and then we can flip the cabinet to the other side and start grinding down that swollen area at the bottom, which doesn't look too bad, so I don't think it's going to be bad at all. Just looking for any other little nicks or dents that I maybe missed. All right, let this set up, sand it down, put the groove in it, move on to the other side. All right, I'll be back shortly. Okay, this turned out extremely well. It's nice and smooth. Can't feel the transition between the two woods, so I'm very happy with that. I still feel a little bit of weird grain, or maybe a little bit of a rippliness from the plywood, but I'm just going to put a lot of primer on it and we'll sand it down and see how it turns out. If we have to primer it a second time, I'll primer it a second time. I don't usually tend to cheap out on things. If I'm just not happy with the way something is, then I just do it a second time. I don't just say, it's good enough. I try to always go a little bit above and beyond, because I look at it this way. I already have the cabinet apart. It's already all stripped down. Does it really matter if I have to do something a second time and spend an extra hour or two doing it? You know, that's my theory on it. Is just get it over with, get it done well. How the heck can this be stuck? I got the bit is stuck in there. We're going to put the slot cutter bit in so that we can cut the T-molding groove, but apparently this bit doesn't want to come out. Probably because I didn't loosen it enough. Okay, now we gotta set this to the right height. Right now it's sitting flush on here, so we're gonna take it down. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna hold this on the cabinet, and we're gonna line it up with the original groove of the cabinet. So we gotta get this thing to slide into the old slot. To where I feel comfortable with it. To me, that's a little too low. Now this video, part 3, that I am currently working on, I don't know when this is going to come out yet because we no longer have internet. We lost internet due to the storm, so hopefully it'll come back on today. I'm not sure, but it is what it is. So now I don't even have TV. So why not just keep working? Nothing else to do. All right, so now we got that. Now you want to run this counterclockwise. It always seems to work better counterclockwise. Now that I say that, I probably won't. But that's usually how you want to run a router. So if we run it this way, we would be running clockwise. So we want to run here and go this way. Now it doesn't always work. Sometimes you got to go clockwise rather than counterclockwise, but we're going to try it and see. I'm going to start on the back edge of the cabinet, just in case I don't like where this is set up at. The slot cutter, if I don't like the placement of it, I can always adjust it back there than I could if I do it on the front. Okay, this is actually working better clockwise. So maybe I was wrong on that. And when I use the flush cutting bit for the laminate, when I do laminate, that goes counterclockwise. Maybe this does go clockwise. I forget. But anyways, this is a 3/32 slot cutter, which is also in my video when I was talking about what I use to repair arcade games. So I'm going to go ahead and go clockwise. So we'll start here and we'll work around here, and then we'll go up and grab that top corner. So now we have our slot in here. See how it matches? It's thinner because it's not all busted out like the old one is, which that's common, but it's okay that it's a little thinner. It'll still tap in there. We still got to fix this a little bit right here on this side. We'll do that when the cabinet's flipped over. But we're good now. We got a nice slot in there. Still got to clean up that wood in here, but we'll do that when it's laying on its other side. So now I can roll this over and we can start grinding down this bottom where it's swelled up. Okay, so now we're going to use the mud buster again, and we're going to take this swelling and knock it down. It's swelled up pretty good, but I think if we use, we'll see if we have to use resin or if we could just use body filler to fix it. I'm not sure yet. But it's swelled up pretty good. More towards the back. The front's not too bad, but I'll show you here on the front. You can physically see how swelled up this back edge is. So if I hold this straight edge there, look at that gap underneath there. That's how much thicker it gets towards the very bottom. That's swelled up because particle board is like a sponge, and it just absorbs that moisture right up. So I'm going to go ahead, it's probably going to take me a few to get this ground down to where I feel that it's flat. Oh, and another thing, somebody had messaged me today and was talking about the Pengo and said that he had a Pengo that was never operated. I guess Pepsi was giving away a Pengo. I don't know if they gave maybe more than one away at the time. I don't know, but he said it had all the original paperwork. Had the original seal on the door from Sega and everything still on the coin door. Could that be what this was? Did they give away more than one? I don't know. I haven't even tried to look it up. But I'm curious if anybody knows out there, did Pepsi give away more than one Pengo cabinet? If so, this could possibly be one because of how clean it is inside. And clearly it's never accepted a quarter or anything like that. It would just be curious to see if it was like that. So if anybody knows, let me know. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and get this sanded down. Okay, that's sanded down really well. It's nice and flat again. I don't feel it humping up at all. We got to fix this corner up a little bit. We're just going to use a little bit of short strand fiberglass, and then this corner here is falling off. So I think what I'm going to do is fill in here with short strand fiberglass and grind this down right here, and then we'll fill that in. Now, I have to fill in this bottom groove where the T-molding goes with short strand fiberglass, because if you look here, look at how the T-molding is now off-centered, because that's how swelled up the cabinet was. This was originally in the center of this piece of particle board, but now we've brought this back down to a 3/4 inch thick particle board by grinding down the moisture swollen area, which this is still really solid, nothing wrong with it. So we're going to fill all this in with short strand fiberglass and then rerun the router dead smack in the center again, so that our T-molding will line up like it's supposed to. So you can see it even around the front here, how it's different. So we're going to fill all that in until right here you can see that this is normal, and it's a normal, and it starts getting weird right around here. So we're going to fill it in all the way back to there, all the way up, and we're going to fill this little corner in with some short strand fiberglass and that as well. All right, so we don't need a ton of it, we just need a little bit. Got it on the board right there. Debating if I should just rip this corner off. I'm ripping it off. Don't trust that. You could fill this groove in with Bondo as well, but I think the short strand fiberglass works a little better in my opinion. Just really wedge it in there. You don't have to leave a lot left on the surface by any means. Just want to fill up that groove as best you can. Now, if this corner was completely missing and busted out on both sides, I would be using fiberglass resin. But since the bottom side is still good, I only ripped off that top part, we're just filling it with this. Might have to mix up a little bit more. All right, I'm gonna mix up a little bit more and then finish spreading this on here. All right, I'm gonna let that filler dry for a while. I'm gonna go plow the rest of my driveway because it's starting to get dark at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So my guess is gonna start snowing soon. So not only did I lose my internet, but now I've lost my cell phone service. So the only thing I have left is power for now. So hopefully that doesn't go out next. If so, I guess I'm going to bed because I'm pretty much out of stuff to do at that point. I have a fuse that goes into the plow for the plow, and it's wiggling all around in the fuse holder for the plow. So it's like a piece of crap. So I'm gonna take some solder and put some solder on these fuse ends and see if by making them a little bit fatter if it'll fit in there. Because what's happening now is my controller's turning off on me in the middle of plowing, so then the blade gets stuck down or up or right or left, and I got to get out, wiggle the fuse around, which is under the engine compartment. So hopefully if I add some solder on here, I can get this thing to work better. That just started happening this morning. I don't know if it's something to do with the cold or what, but so just put a big glob on both sides of this. Tell you what, this little cordless soldering gun is pretty badass. I bought it on eBay. It was like 40 bucks. Somebody makes them and they sell them for different brand batteries. And this is just plugged into my Bauer battery, and it works good. So I just filled this with some solder just to thicken up the legs of this. So hopefully when I put it in there, it won't jiggle around and cause problems. So I'm gonna go take care of that for a while. Hopefully we'll still have power. I'll come back and we'll sand this down, and then we'll put a coat of Bondo on it. And then at that point, we get the leg levelers on it, flip it on its back. We need to put a coat of Bondo on this down here and the side and get it all cleaned up. And I got to pull that artwork off still as well. So a little bit more to go, and then I'll be ready for primer. All right, I'm gonna knock down these couple spots. Then we're gonna put Bondo on this and on the back piece. And while that's drying off camera, I'm gonna pull off the Pengo on this side. All right, that's all I have to do now is put the leg levelers on it and then stand it up, sand down the front, and we're ready to put primer on this thing. These are the leg levelers I was talking about earlier. They have like a nylon bottom to them. They're a real nice leg leveler. They just don't pivot at the bottom, which I don't ever see that being a problem. And it does still have a nut on here, so you could spin it up and lock it if you wanted to. But right now on Amazon, you can get a 4-pack of these for like 12 bucks. It comes with 4 of these, and then the screws for them, okay? This takes a 1/2-inch hole you have to drill into your plywood. Now, right now on Amazon, same deal. If you buy 8-pack, you get 8 of these, and enough screws for 8 of these. It's like $17, and they're black in color, but who cares what color they are? So once again, I'm gonna post that link in the bottom, or in the description of this video. I'll put the Amazon link in case everybody or anybody needs to get leg levelers. They can order them and save themselves some money. So what I need to do first is take the old board there, and I just need to measure where the leg leveler was at. So it looks like it's 1 1/4 in from the side. Okay, it's 1 1/4 in both ways. So we just need to go down from here 1 1/4 and 1 1/4. And this will put them exactly where they were from the factory. And just make a little plus sign. Okay, so we got those marked. Now we can drill them. Now, normally, I would like to drill them with a smaller bit all the way through, which I still going to, but I like to drill the 1/2-inch bit halfway this way and 1/2 inch or half that way, so that I don't put a bunch of splinters inside the cabinet. But because this has that other bottom on there, I really can't get in there to do that. So it is what it is. I'll just try to drill slowly. So basically what I'm going to do now is we'll start with a 1/4 inch bit, and then we'll go up to 1/2 inch. I'm gonna drill all 4 holes, tap these in with the hammer, put the screws in them, and then we'll be able to stand this thing up so I can sand the front of the cabinet with some 180 grit. Okay, I'm not going to sand any of this right now. I'm not going to primer any of this. There's a little bit of tape there, but I'll get that off. We're not going to primer any of this. This is all really nice. We're just going to touch it up with new black and blue in here. So all I want to concentrate on primering is the front and the sides and the lower back. I'll probably have to put a piece of paper in here, maybe drape a couple more pieces of paper because I don't want to get a bunch of overspray in the cabinet. But what I'm going to do now is get this blown off and get it in the spray booth, and then we will put some primer on it. I think it looks really good. We're nice and solid again. No more rot in the bottom of the cabinet. So we are nearing the end of the hard stuff, guys. Pretty much at this point, in my opinion, the hard stuff is done. Painting is the easy part. Primering is easy. Even sanding the primer is easy. Also, we're not going to primer the top. We'll sand this afterwards. We'll sand this top back afterwards. All that will get done after it's primered, because we'll just put a light coat of paint over top of what's currently there. No point in wasting product when the cabinet's in good shape. So I'm gonna pause this, get this all blown out, get the cabinet blown out real good, get it in the booth, and then we will go ahead and get it primered up. All right, I'm gonna mix up this 2K primer by Summit Racing. I had poured a little bit in here because that was left in the can that I had, and this is a brand new can now. 4-to-1 mix, and then 20% reducer. So I'm going to go ahead and get this mixed up, and we're going to go ahead and get some primer on this. Alright guys, that's going to end this video. This is part 3 of the Pengo. It's drying right now. We'll go take a look at it real quick. It looks real good. Nobody will ever know that that was replaced, other than looking in the cabinet and seeing that it's plywood versus particle board. But I wanted to use the plywood because it's just a stronger way of doing it. So it is all back together in primer. Let it dry now, and then next step will be painting this, and then in the basement, and then we have a bunch of assembly videos coming. So tomorrow I plan on putting the power brick and the coin door back together for Spy Hunter. Since I have all the parts laying on the table in there, I want to get them off the table and get all that put back together so that I can get those in the basement. But I think that's pretty much about it. We'll let this dry for maybe a couple days. We'll see what happens. See what I can do about getting paint. That 59 Impala is still coming back here. It obviously got delayed because of the snowstorm, but if I can maybe get this painted before that shows back up and get this out of here, that would probably be good. But I probably won't make it to the paint store until, obviously, until Monday now, Monday afternoon probably even, to get the paint for this cabinet. But once I do get the paint, I will have the paint code in the automotive color for this color blue that they used on the Pengo. So, all right, guys. Well, that's going to end part 3. Please, if you wouldn't mind hitting the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. It costs nothing. It just lets you know when more videos come out. Also, if you know anybody who's interested in this stuff, if you wouldn't mind sharing the video, that would be awesome. Other than that, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.